The Tower of Babel is at the end of the Parsha Noah. The world community came together and decided that they wanted to build a colossal tower to reach heaven. They thought that if they made the tower, that they could do battle with God himself and perhaps become gods on their own. Now, Midrash talks about this a bit and tells us that God convened a tribunal in heaven and discussed whether it was time to destroy man and the tower's builders. But God decided not to destroy humanity, but rather to confuse them. A small civil war did erupt at the construction site, and the building of the tower did cease for a little while. Eventually, it started up again, and God had to do something about it. So what he did was he gave the different races that descended from Noah and his 3 sons different languages so that it would be impossible for them to communicate with one another and continue the work on the tower. Unfortunately, when humans come together or have come together, they decide to do evil instead of good. You know, this can be seen on the world stage as nations come together in New York City as the United Nations, yet they are very far apart from each other. Unfortunately, we can see this in churches that say that they are for God but will not work together locally. It is a strange situation. The people that call themselves God's people treat each other poorly. As an aside, one could consider today's modern church to be one large Tower of Babel, especially during the Civil War at the tower. Did God create the many denominations of the church so that they would not work together? Sounds a little crazy, but it is working that way. If all churches worked together, the church could learn everything about God. One church, with every person loving each other, was the goal of Jesus. In fact, actually, Jesus didn't want a new religion. Instead, he wanted Judaism to work together and love one another. The Tower of Babel is an example of what happened yesterday and today. God bless you for listening to this Parsha Short Talk, and as always, Shalom.